Mic check. Yo, let me see if I got volume. Hold on. You won't believe the battle I've just had. Yo. Ratted, bomber clatted. We're listening to Exhorder. Yo, right, whilst the intro runs, this listen throw goes out to Nicky P. Nicky Pizzle. I never listened to Exhorder. This is 8 tracks. Slaughter in the Vatican. I actually went to the Vatican 1 month ago. Alright. Rome, absolutely beautiful. The Vatican, on the other hand, from the outside looking in, a little bit overrated, I would say. A little bit overrated, architecturally speaking, in consideration and relative to Rome as a whole, you know. But I've never listened to Exhorder. If you like your metal, big up my man Nicky, alright. Death in Vain, track 1. Let's go. Sipping on a... What am I even sipping on? I thought it was... I don't even know. 1964. I thought it was Cronenberg. Let's go. Let's ramp that volume up. Old school sound. When I say old school, I don't mean early 80s. I mean a little later, but I don't mean modern. Exhorder and the album logo makes me feel like this should be a more modern band, but the sound is making me think this would have been put out in 1980. 1991. That's where my money's at. Let's find out where we're at. 1990. Don't tell me I don't know metal. Don't tell me I don't know metal. Don't tell me I don't know metal, man. That excited me, did that. I love that. Guess the year, guess the era. Come on. That was good. That was good. Come on. Ignorant riff. That was good. Yeah, that was good. That was good. Modern sound with an old school production. You know, why did I think it was a 90s record? I thought it was a 90s record because we got an air of death metal in there. We got an air of traditional sounding, gritty, bass heavy, death metal-esque, grey production from that sound engineer. That's why I thought that. I'm looking forward to more riffs. Let's not waste no time. We got Homicide, track number 2, coming up next. There's Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, Slaughtering the Vatican, track number 2 of 8. This one is Homicide. Let's jump straight in. Let's go. Let's go. Piss on your what? Piss on your piss? I like thrash, or this style of thrash, when it gets into 88 onwards. Because specific types of bands started to write and compose these riffs in a more straightforward 4/4 well executed songwriting style, as opposed to some of the more frantic and sort of like oddly timed riffage that we get from other bands where it's a bit jerky, you know, which I'm not a fan of. I'm not a fan. Fascinating. Someone says you could hear where Phil got his vocal style on. Maybe clearly speaking of Phil Anselmo, and I can hear that. I swear I can hear Primal Concrete Sledge. Sorry, I'm stuttering and buttering here, people. Let me pull myself together. I've had one beer. I swear I can hear Primal Concrete Sledge like vocals on this. Don't get me wrong, I love me some Pantera, but the Exhorder influence is undeniable. Someone says Pantera owe them royalty money. Fascinating, yeah, fascinating. I didn't really pick up on it, but the moment I read Phil, it did all make sense. There is a Phil Anselmo-esque vocal performance on this. It was an alright tune. Not one as good as Death in Vain, to be honest with you. We've got a long one coming up next. Desecrator. Let's go. Des Rocksteady, King of the Pit TV, listening to Slaughter in the Vatican by Exhorder. Track 3 of 8 is entitled Desecrator. This entire listen through goes out to my friend Nikki P, who recommended this on the Patreon. Let's jump in. Let's go. Greatest of all time, one commenter says. Groovy little bass line there. Ba-da-da-da. Yo, there's a hard tune, right? 94 or 95. The Truth by a band called Bulldoze. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care. I made you cry. Hard. Fucking hard. A little bit of history for you. The band Bulldoze from New York City. Yeah. They put a record out. The Final Beatdown. That was where beatdown hardcore originates from. I mean, you could say the roots were earlier. You know, you had your 25 to Lives and your bands like that. But the first to coin it beatdown hardcore, or at least the first to coin the term beatdown and apply it to slam-esque riffing in hardcore. Dun 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 dun. Yeah, that was a band called Bulldoze. Hard. That was hard. That was quite hardcore. That there's like a Virgin on a Gang chant there. Hard.
Society
Let's go. Let's go. Few riffs on there then. Yeah, I like them mid-tempo riffs. Anything thrash. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, we can play fast, but we lose the toe tapping. Well, it's not even a frequency. Yeah, I want to say frequencies because that's what I meant, but I didn't mean it in a literal sense because we are talking music and, you know, I don't want to confuse no one. But some of them toe tapping rhythms, man. I want to hear loads of that. Title track, Exhorder. Well, not the title track, but title track to an extent coming up. Exhorder. I'm gassy as hell, man. Let's keep going. There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV. Slaughter in the Vatican. Yes, now, bless, now. Track 4 of 8. This listen through goes out to Nicky Pizzle, who recommended this on the Patreon. Shall we jump in? We should. Straight to the point. Blah, 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 blah. Let's go. Ba-da. Ba-da. One, two, three, four. first guitar solo we've had. Somebody says this is Pantera and Slayer and Exodus. No responses, just 12 thumbs up, so the people agree. 3 years ago. Someone says groove metal. I disagree. This isn't groove metal. This is thrash metal. There's some death metal in there, in my personal opinion. Mic check. Cool riff. Blep, blep, blep. Blep, blep, blep. That was almost hypnotic there at the end with that pedal note. It was just almost one note. That was good. That was Exhorder, the title track. We got the Tragic Period coming up next, which is track number 5. All right, let's keep on moving, shall we? Gangster, gangster, that's what they're yelling. It ain't about the salary, it's all about reality. The Tragic Period is track number 5 of 8. We're listening to Slaughter in Le Vatican by Exhorder. Let's bloody go, shall we? Let's bloody go. I have a feeling that this album is very metal, alright? It's the weekend. Friday night. I'm not working tomorrow. That means we're going to go get some great food. Gonna go get some Indian food tomorrow. Spend a couple of quid and shag. Bear shagging tomorrow, people. Come on now. Sleeping, alcohol, women, food. I mean, as you can see, you're probably, if you're watching on the YouTube, you're not going to get this until later, but I am getting fat, people, happily. I do like training though, come on, it goes in the right places. You should see the legs at the moment, all these squatties for the hotties I've been doing. Bear shagging, come on. Let's go. Sex, drugs and rock and roll. Devoted to Nicky P. Come on, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Come on. I said earlier on in the record, I'm not too fond of these stuttery stop and start moments that you do get in a lot of these drier sounding older metal records. I wouldn't necessarily call this old because it's 1990, so for thrash metal it's not old, but this is reminiscent of the sort of 80s riffage that I just don't get along with. Come on. Better. Some machine gun fill there. Hear that? That was the tragic period. Not a bad little number. It wasn't my favourite, although it was some people's, as we read in the comments. Yeah, nothing really stood out to me too much in regards to that tune. We got Legions of Death coming up next. Yes, now bless. Now don't forget to rest now. Des ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV. Legions of Death is track number 6 of 8. We're listening to Slaughter in the Vatican by Exhorder, as recommended by my good friend Nick on the Patreon. Let's go. A little bit gassy, people. A little bit gassy. Looking forward to some Indian food tomorrow. Got a nice table at a nice restaurant booked outside of the city as to where I reside. Mic check. I just fluffed up my sound. Let's go. Don't want to show you too much, yeah? I'm only in my boxers. Get back, Shadrach. Shall I crack open another? Let's go. Twain Jones says they need to remaster. Talk about an underrated band. I don't think this record needs a remaster. Sounds good enough. But Bap. I like that kick sound. I've not mentioned the kick so far. Nice organic kick. Still nice, punchy, prominent, tight, concentrated. Yo, this guy says in full caps, "What's the matter? Your baby ears can't tolerate a crude and old master like this?" In relation to someone saying they need to remaster it. Better. There we go. That was Legions of Death. You know what? I thought that was potentially my favourite on the record. As of so far, of course. That was good. Good riffs, good ideas, good song length at only 4 minutes 33. I didn't mind that one at all. We got, I'm not even going to call it the full title. We got track 7 coming up next, alright? Yo! There's ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV, signing in. The least viewed track, which is the shortest track with the most controversial title, Lust, is track 7 of 8 on Slaughter of the Vatican. Let's just jump straight in. We're listening to Exhorder tonight. Let's go. Thrash metal. Let's go. Let's go. It was an alright tune. It didn't rid of any value from the record. You know, it wasn't a bad track. It wasn't the greatest track on the record. They should have made it faster, to be honest with you. At 2 minutes 36, they should have just made it a borderline crossover thrash, just powerhouse of a number. But we've got the title track to finish off coming up next. It's a long one at 7 minutes 21. I'll see you there. There's ROCKSTEADY, King of the Pit TV. Hair in my mouth. Slaughter in the Vatican, track 8 of 8 is the title track, Slaughter in the Vatican. This entire playthrough has gone out to Nikki P via the Patreon. Get back, let's go. heavy. You're not hear the slow, like, death metal creeping into the sound of this band. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba. Come on. Ba, ba, ba. Let's go. Depending on how the drums come in, this could go really, really well or somewhat average. And I'll tell you what I've said. Dun, 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 dun. Now we could come in on the toms in a punk rock fashion, dun, 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 which I don't think would be the case. Not crossover enough. Dun, 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 dun. Come in on the two bomb. Which is a possibility, but I'm half and half because the other half could be a little bit more underwhelming for me. Let's find out. I'll tell you what I think. Let's go. Like I said, when it comes to thrash, we're either playing hardcore thrash or heavy metal thrash. There's a spectrum when it comes to this thrash metal game, in my opinion. Let's go. Not a bad way to go. Definitely more heavy metal adjacent, just due to the excess of double kick there. But I'm not hating. It's a good way to bring it. Hard. Yeah, whilst we're here, I'll put some respect on the credits here. Scott Burns on the production, a very familiar name in music production as far as metal's concerned. We've got Chris Nail, composer lyricist, Kyle Thomas, composer lyricists, and Vinny Labella, composer lyricists. Alright. So we got Roadrunner Records. Mic check. You know what? I don't really go out of my way to follow too many modern acts, generally speaking, at this point, but I know what's going around in the scene around me, the community around me. Roadrunner Records haven't really held a presence in, you know, extreme music for some time for me. I hear more about Metal Blade, Nuclear Blast, and the like. Roadrunner, a whole new kettle of fish, don't get me wrong. Roadrunner are larger than life, but I hear more about them particular subsidiaries or labels than I do Roadrunner. I think one act, yeah, I won't name what act, but you know, a hardcore adjacent act got picked up by Roadrunner as of recent, or within the past decade, let's say, past 5 years, to broaden it or to minimize that time frame. They got picked up, and you know what? They don't do bad, but it's crazy. Like, the direction they took is just bizarre, you know? People say selling your soul, most definitely, man. Nothing wrong with signing a contract, but sometimes artistic merit does get thrown out of the window in order to market oneself in the way you're told to do so. Let's go. Come on. Let it live. Someone says I hear a little bit of nuclear assault, and you know what? On this particular song, I can agree. I can agree on the fast bit, on the vocal line. So said Phil Anselmo was actually in Exhorder for a little. I had no idea. Real talk though, like, outside the music and whatnot and other endeavours, I am fascinated, and I wouldn't necessarily say educated, purely down to how deep the rabbit hole goes, but as far as the world structure, the societal structure in the world, the Vatican goes beyond Catholicism, you know, secret societies and those who possess intelligence leagues above and beyond what we believe we as the human civilization are aware of. You know, there's so much going on, man. The very first intelligence agency stems from. But I'll shut up. I've had a few to drink. We're not going to talk about that. It's all hypothetical. You'd find it out yourself if you can. Let's go. Better. I think on this track in particular, the Phil Anselmo sort of been rid from the voice. Repent for your sins, metalheads. Repent for your sins. The last days are coming. The prophecies have been written and they're coming true. You needn't turn to Christ, but you must turn to God. That was Slaughter in the Vatican, the title track on Slaughter in the Vatican. That was a banger, to be honest with you. That was one of the better tracks on the record, no doubt. No doubt. I don't know the symbolic purpose of the kid crying there. I don't know if that's some sort of, I don't want to talk about what I feel it could be referencing. But with that being said, that was Exhorder. And that listen through goes out to Nikki. I'm actually going to do one last video where I give you my final overview of the record. And I'll rate it out of 10 for you, so I'll see you there. Yes, now, bless. Now, don't forget to rest now. There's Rocksteady at King of the Pit TV signing in and signing out as we had just listened to the record Slaughter in the Vatican by Exhorder. My very first time listening to Exhorder. It was recommended on the Patreon by my good friend Nick, who's put forward some fantastic metal records as of recent and as of ever since our communications. This being no different. This was, man, let's be real. Let's be real. I've got a broad understanding, right, of metal and punk music. Those two genres in particular are root genres. I mean, you could argue that rock was like the root of both. So them two particular categorizations of music and that which stems from the metal and the punk and those in between, I've got an extensive knowledge on the music that exists relative to your common person, right? So that makes me a self-appointed spokesperson in saying this band, at least this record, is metal. It's metal. There's no dispute about it. No one's ever going to say, no, that's not a metal band. Oh, that's this band and that's that band. Oh, this is the genre of this band. Nah, this is metal. This is metal for the metalheads because it's not critically acclaimed, sellout, mainstream, albeit signed and put out by Roadrunner. It is mainstream in a legitimate sense. But as far as a community sense, this is an underground, extreme metal band. I had never listened to Exhorder in my life. I don't even know what other records they got. You might show me a bit of album artwork and I'll say, oh, I know that album artwork. But other than this record, I'd never come across this artwork in my life. Never come across anybody referencing this record in my life. All of the comments are just flooded with Pantera, 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 Pantera. There's no Pantera in the record. The vocalist, yeah, comes across a little bit more Phil Anselmo-esque. I came across one comment that said Phil was actually in the band at one point. You tell me. Nobody was debating him on the truth of that. What did he do? You tell me. I can't see Phil playing an instrument. Did he do the vocals at one point? Was he? He wasn't on the vocals on this record, was he? Was he? Because everybody was saying this influenced Pantera. And no doubt, vocally, yes. But you can't help the vocal cords. You are genetically given. There's a lot of people who sound like a lot of people when they perform in a particular style or have a particular act behind them. I know it's quite literal because people are saying like Pantera were actually influenced by this act. Yeah, okay, I get that. But you can't say, oh, this is like a band Pantera ripped off purely because the vocals sound like. Bruh. Like, you listen to any act and they're not going to be completely unique. Moving on to the album. It was good. Somebody said this album needed a remaster. It does not. It does not. This album is good as it is. Well produced, well mastered, in my opinion. Engineering is good. Instrumentally speaking, there was no issues with any instrumentation, or still talking on the sound production, there was no issues with any instrument on the record. Guitar sounded okay, and I say okay, I don't say great. The guitar tones are not necessarily what I'm into. Overall, the production was quite gritty and dry. It was very death metal, a production, because it was quite bass heavy. The guitar tones dry. Not much pillow softness to the record. Just, it is what it is. Here's some riffs. Without the, like, overdose on, oversaturated distortion and whatnot. Which is what I like. So, and when I say what I like, I mean I like that pillowy softness. So, it's a bit contrary to my general tastes. Because, like, that old school traditional metal sound isn't really for me too much, you know. I like that Swedish stuff, that just as opposed to like like the tightness what you get from records like this. Comes with an incredible amount of tightness, but I like the wall of sound, you know. It was good. Drumming was good. Riffs were pretty good. I can't fault the riffs. This band sort of existed a little bit more so heavy metal influenced as punk influenced, but wasn't so far into the heavy metal realm that I felt it was a bit, because I like the punk side of things. So I'd say it was probably about like 65, I'd say 55, 45, you know? Because they existed in the middle ground, more or less. There was some good punk, thrash, crossover-esque elements there. Vocally, I wasn't turned off. You know, vocals on a band like this can be hit or miss, but it wasn't too bad. 8 tracks. With 8 tracks come relatively long songs, which aren't my favourite, but with 8 tracks, I think that's the optimal amount of songs on a record. I've learnt that during the recording on this channel. 8-track records are perfect. Perfect. Like, there's nothing better. All of the best albums have got 8 songs. That's facts. That is facts. That's facts. So I think the length of the record was good. There's no low points. There was no bummy tracks. They were all good, all consistent. Now, with that being said, I'm going to give this record a 6.5 out of 10. It's not for me because it's a bit more heavy metal adjacent. But I do think it's a great record. You know, don't listen to me on my score. It's my personal taste. And if you follow this channel, you'll know how critical I am on my ratings. And I'm only going on a 7+ if I'm finding replay value. For me, this does fall into a box with great metal bands, but great metal bands as to which, let me tell you some so you know the category I'm putting this act in. Death Angel, Pestilence. Although Pestilence were very good, I'd argue Pestilence might have been a bit better. I've only heard a couple of records by Pestilence so far, but still the sound, I'd put Pestilence in there. And you know, I'll say this because we listened to some Exodus, but this is like adjacent to the 85 sort of Exodus, right? This is like a Bonded by Blood, dry, gritty sounding. This sounds better than that, no doubt, but just so you know where I'm coming from. So I'm not saying the record's bad whatsoever. It's good quality, high tier, metalhead quality metal. It's just not my particular taste, so that's why I give it the rating it is. And with that being said, I'm signing out. One love, people. Peace.